Morning. Slept good last night.
It's comfy in there.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
How's she looking?
Meat is cold. I'm gonna whittle on it this morning, kind of clean it up and get some of the fat off. There's just so much fat. There's pounds of fat on there that don't need to haul back. So, okay. Look at this place we're in, man. This is about our best campsite yet.
It's storybook.
I'll bet we could probably glass up Cinnamon right now.
I was gonna ask if you've spotted him yet today.
I'll bet we do.
That Cinnamon bear is what? Up on that ridge right there. There's got to be a den there.
Yeah. It's like he would look up the mountain and we just thought there was another bear coming down, and he'd freak out and he'd just run up and over the ridge and just disappear into this hole. And we got a vantage where we could look back and there's something we can't see, and it's just got to be a hole under a rock or something. But pretty cool. I think he's got a nice little patch of grass he just goes to. It's probably just came out. So
We got a hell of a pack out ahead of us, boys.
Put in some contacts.
Last pair?
No, I have one more pair.
Nice.
Yeah.
Enough to do all the packing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Look at those wild sheds, dude.
This one's just got so much flair and uniqueness to it.
That is just too cool.
Wow. We're trying to shave all the meat off of this bear skull so it's not so much weight. It's kind of filthy right now, but I'm gonna make this thing clean. So we got some time here this morning. Get all the junk off, all the little extra pieces of meat that we don't really need to pack out. Make them look good. There's a lot of just stuff. You know, you gotta get the tongue, get the cheeks, big chunks of meat off the back of this deal. There's a lot of weight there, so clean it up. Yeah, so apparently these are grass eaters. That's what we see them eating. They just don't look like grass eaters. They look like they're just carnivore every day with these teeth. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't think it. They all get smooth.
They sharpen.
Like the back side of this tooth right here. It's this tooth from just chewing that's worn it all the way down. It's crazy.
Brian's going all like manly Schwarzenegger style. He's gonna haul those bones out.
I'm sure all of them are on 10.
The hunting's over.
10's over.
The work is not. That side hill all the way down to the bottom looks gross.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little icky. All right, so what we're gonna do here is cook up a little bear meat, jet boil style. So I got a bunch of, I think this is Brian's bear fat. We got 2 bears out of this trip that just had a ton of fat on them. So I diced these up in just a little cubes. I'm gonna run this jet boil at low. And the thing I like about this mini mo is it sets really low at a low heat, just a light orange flame, so it doesn't just scorch it. So you just turn it way down, just render this fat down a little bit, and once you do, you just kind of pull these little crispy fat chunks out and drop in the bear meat. You can kind of see I just diced up a bunch of little pieces. I'll probably end up with about 1 inch of rendered down fat out of just this little bit that I put in here. I'll just drop them in and deep fry those little pieces of bear meat, and we're gonna have this as kind of our last meal before hitting our last little leg and hitting the trailhead. But this is gonna be definitely the best meal of the trip. We ate some just over a fire, but it's just not the same when you get like soak it in this bear fat You can see in here, I've already got probably a good 1/4 inch of rendered stuff down. It's gonna take a few minutes to get all the fat out of those little fat chunks. We'll let that simmer a little bit. So we're getting close. I mean, they're getting pretty kind of rendered down pretty well. They're just little crispies now. We could probably pull them out and just get this meat in here, but
I love those little crispies.
you want to eat them?
Oh yeah.
We can just crisp them up then, and
I love eating
we'll
those.
eat those
like
too.
Popcorn something, I don't know.
Yeah, they got a good flavor. That look good. Bear nuggets. This is gonna be the best meal right here. Best meal of the trip for sure. Plus I got these little Tony, I don't know, I say sashery, probably totally wrong, but these little single packets are awesome. Put a little bit of that on your bear meat. It's good.
Oh, that looks good.
Doesn't it? Dude, this is gonna be delicious. It's just the best way to eat bear meat, especially up here. Plus you get to cook the snot out of it and not have to worry about the tricky trichinosis. Oh yeah. Tony's on it.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that good? Man, it's my favorite. There's cooking it over the fire, and then there's doing it like this, and this is just so much better. I know a lot of guys like venison and elk, and so do I, but there's nothing like bear meat. It just isn't. It's just the flavor it's got. And there's the best way to cook it. It does not get any better than that. But that Tony's on there does make it better.
Dude, that's so good. Wow.
The best.
Look at that. It tastes so good.
I don't think meat can get any better.
No,
How does it compare to deer to you?
it's better than deer. My whole family likes it better than deer.
Yeah. I know it's funny. Like, you still run across guys that think bear is gross, or they've heard it's gross and nasty, and I scratch my head every time I hear it. I just can't figure it out. And it seems like everybody you feed this to loves it. My wife, my kids, you know, they probably would have thought it was nasty as well until they tried it. They eat it all the time now, and it's the first thing to go out of our freezer every year. And it's just because it's got the best flavor. Best flavor for making burgers, making chili, just making nuggets. All around, it's just the best flavored meat.
Looks like it's popping out in the top.
Well, this is we're about 15 minutes in, and we got a bear straight across from us. Yeah, Brian spotted it in about a half a second. So we're gonna throw the spotter up and see what he is. Jet black, it looks like. Well, we got the spotter out and got it on him, and he's just a pretty young bear. He's pretty small. He's less than medium size, but I'm sure there's a lot more bears. It's really thick over here. He just disappears in no time in this thick stuff, so pretty good vantage we got there though. But yeah, he's not one we're gonna go for.
Well, it took us about 5 hours to go 10 miles today. About 2 miles per hour. We're back here in a beautiful area. Lots of open country. See what we can find. There's a nice couple trails that take us up over this top to peek into some other drainages. So we might run around light tomorrow and leave our camp set up and just take off and run some of these ridges. But It's amazing country. So just hoping we can find ourselves a nice black bear. It's just so good right here. We're gonna check this out for a day or so. We just kind of want to see what it's like back in here. The good news is we're upriver, and so far the river's been good. There's a couple treacherous spots where we'd have to take out, but we expect to find a couple of good bears back here, so we'll see what happens. But so far so good. It's beautiful, it's cool. I'd like to see the clouds back off, give us a little sunshine. I like the heat.
A lot of walking today. We got to this spot here that was hard to pass up. Really nice, glassable, stockable. Looks like bear country. We didn't see anything this evening, but I don't think that means much. I just think they just happen to be out of sight. So definitely going to be bears around. We just got to do our job and find them.
What you having for dinner?
Going with some Heather's Choice dark chocolate chili. And sprinkled in with some Tonys.
Just gotta add a little
spice to it, because like according to you it's spicy, but it's not. It's not spicy at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna have salmon chowder. You're shocked, I know. Shocked.
Shocking.
Why fix what's not broke, folks? Well, I'm ready for dinner. I'm gonna cook up some grub.
All right, well, this is day 2. We got up this morning, did some glassing. Still have not picked up a bear, but do you see that horseshoe I turned up right back there, Brian? I turned it upright because I just saw it. And about, I don't know, 50 yards later, we're seeing morels. So we're gonna snatch up some morels right now. Now all we need is a bear. Get some bear grease to fry them up in.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Also found some grizzly tracks right there. Tracks on this trail here. Just gotta find a bear.
It's a good sign when the game bag comes out, right? Even when it's not for meat. There's nothing better than bear meat and morels cooked together. Both fried, just crispy in bear fat. That's going to be the best meal we've ever had if we can now find a bear.
Been picking mushrooms here for about 20 or 30 minutes. Ryan is on cloud 9.
Dinner, right?
It's like gold.
It is like gold. Gotta love that.
Especially since we've come across a few people in this backcountry.
Yeah.
Just a couple, and they're all mushroom seekers.
What did they say?
They're just not popping. There's none to be found.
Huh.
Lampers is a show off.
Oh boy. It's just a start.
Heck yeah.
And we're eating good, Brian. We are eating good. Morels, which are made for spring bear hunting, I think, because they just go hand in hand, are one of probably the best eating mushrooms. You put morels with bear meat or elk meat or anything, and it's really good. But yeah, these are definitely one of my favorites. Any way you cook them, they're good, and you can dry them, dehydrate them. So I don't know what the limit is up here. It's probably 10. When you're not commercial, it's probably 10 pounds or something like that. It's usually what it is. I don't know what the going rate is, but guys do make money every spring coming out and picking morels. I mean, they fill totes and totes and totes, and they make some decent money. You're not going to get rich off picking morels, but it's a fun hobby, no doubt. I don't know about you, Brian, but I don't really want to haul 100 pounds of morels out of here. I'd rather haul 100 pounds of meat and eat a handful of morels with that meat. Growing up in Washington, we've got a lot of morels. We've got a lot of false morels on the west side, which are verpa. Some folks eat false morels, but they're not really supposed to be eaten. So true morels are what these are, and you can tell because they're not capped. If you slice this down the middle, that cap, it's going to be attached to the stem like this, not just sitting on the stem. A lot of people get confused with false morels or verpa versus a true morel. These are the edible ones. Really not supposed to eat verpa. We've been picking these for a lot of years, and it's just a fun thing to do in the springtime. Turkey hunting, spring bear hunting. These are pretty small. I mean, we'll get them 10 times this big in certain areas under cottonwoods in the river bottom sometimes. Just giants. But usually fire morels are a little bit smaller. I guess there's people that don't like mushrooms. They're just wrong. Kind of like guys that don't like bear meat. They're just wrong. I don't understand people who don't like mushrooms. I don't think we could be friends, really, because they're just good. They're so good. I don't know, I can't really describe the flavor of them, but
I think they taste real meaty. They're not like your typical watery mushroom. They're meaty, and when you cook them down, I think they have a little taste like bacon, almost like a meaty. It doesn't taste like a mushroom, it tastes like meat.
Well, these are definitely going to taste like bacon once we deep fry them in bear fat. These are going to be good. Good, good.
All right, let's go find a bear.
That's all we need now.
We are in Mosquitoville.
Oh, it's bad. It's real bad. There's like a swamp down there.
We saw a lot of bear sign, a lot of tracks, all sizes, big, small, grizzly, not grizzly.
Giant. Add giant to the mix.
There's a couple in there.
There was some really big,
like Kodiak brown bear style.
Giant, yeah. Yeah, very large. There's a lot of different bear tracks, so I don't know. I think we're in a pretty dang good spot.
I just want to film a grizzly bear. My needs are low. You know?
You're not asking much.
No, I just want to film some animals.
This feels like they're everywhere with the tracks we've seen.
Yeah, I just, man, there's some king-size behemoths walking through here. It's wild.
There's enough bear tracks here where we could probably just stick and find them, but I really want to get to that one basin that looks so good on the map.
You know, we're covering country, we're glassing country.
Yeah.
And just with everything out here, it just seems like we should at least be bumping into them on trails or on hillsides, but kind of surprised.
Yeah. But we're gonna find them.
Yeah.
But we'll get a really good perch. Look into this big old basin that's up here. Looks really good. It's got open rollers with timber, heavy timber. So I'll get up there and sit for a while. Glass. Bear track going right across this base. We must have just barely missed him because fresh tracks, scat, and it's moving across this really, really long hillside. It's just a beautiful mountain, but he must have just been cruising, or he's on it and we just didn't pick him up, but I think we will. On our vantage here we can see a lot. I think we just missed him. like a couple hours. It's early in the day. I mean, that is as fresh as it gets for scat. But we'll find him.
Well, a little update. We've glassed all day, pretty much. And this little knob we're on. And we like it so much, we decided we're going to camp here tonight. So we went and got our tent, pitched it. We got all our stuff down by the river, hanging in a tree. Trying to hope the bears don't get it. We left a bunch of food and gear we probably won't need. So we're traveling a little light. We got 2 days worth of food. And I don't know, this is a good valley. We keep thinking we're going to see something in here. Lots of sign. Fresh sign from this morning. So just need to find a bear. Haven't seen much though. Been a pretty slow day.
So we just picked up our first bear off this spot down in the flat. Actually, he's up on the opposite hill. He's just a beautiful bear, and he's just sitting looking straight this way. I gotta tell if he's a Grizz or a black bear, but no, we're just gonna watch him for a little bit when he stands up and he's just sitting. But boy, he just looks like a black bear to me. His head on him, but we'll double check.
All right, we're after that bear. It is a long, long ways over there. And it's 6:30. We've got about 2 hours. Pull it off. It's a gorgeous bear. I don't know if I even got it on film. He looks like a grizzly. He's so blonde and pretty. Definitely a black bear though. Yes. It's on.
Fast. We just came upon a Grizz. There's a grizzly about 200 yards out. He's scratching his back. He's big. What's that?
He's marking that tree.
Yeah.
Those bears sure make black bears look small.
He's huge compared to the really nice black bear we just saw. We're mid-stock on this beautiful black, and he's right in our path, so we're gonna boogie back this way. Take a big berth around him. Change of course.
Well, we've gone almost a mile. It's been about 17 minutes since we started that stalk. We're pretty close now. We're gonna have a little river to cross, I don't know, something, a stream. Hopefully our bear's just over this rise, about another mile.
Whew. So we gave that Grizz a big old wide berth. We changed our plans, came back to this little creek. Gonna go straight at this bear we saw. We were gonna cut way up and up on the mountain he was going up, but it's kind of a low percentage, but we're gonna give it a shot. It's been slim pickings on black bear sightings, so we're gonna go straight at him. We'll see what the wind's doing when we get a little closer, but we still got a ways to go, and we gotta go up over this mountain, so. What time are we, Brian? We got about 2 hours.
It's been 25 minutes since we left.
So we got
2.5 hours. There's a swamp here. We knew it was here, but we were hoping we could get across it somewhere.
that beaver dealt with. It looks bad.
You gonna jump? What? You gonna jump? Whoa. Oh, this is brutal. Ooh. Made it.
I'm gonna mark this spot. It's about the only place, the only other spots where that Grizz is parked.
This is a good crossing. Real narrow. You can see where that beaver has made that little canal there.
Yeah.
Well, we pulled that off. Got around the grizzly. Got across the swamp and the creek. And now we're only about 500 yards from where we saw that bear last.
We're good.
Well, it's been 45 minutes. We've gone 1.6 miles.
Lays out pretty good to be able to see him.
Ryan got eyes on the bear. Do you see him? Yep, I'm ready. He's not that big. What's wrong, Ryan?
Well, we're getting really good eyes on him, and he's not really old boar that we were hoping to find. He looked a lot bigger from 1.5 miles away, but now we're pretty tight, and I don't know, second guessing if I want to take him. He's pretty though. Well, we're looking at him. He was running from something. We were hoping there was a big old boar, but it was just an elk. Elk spooked him. So he's not that tough.
Chasing it. Yeah, that elk probably has a calf. She's chasing off that bear. He's not that big if he's running from her.
That's funny. He's a solid medium, but look, if he's running away from an elk, I don't know. I don't think he's badass enough to take.
Shoot. But, I mean, I'm glad we saw a bear, but yeah, we're trying to find that giant. Those tracks on that hillside look like a big black bear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Way too small for that Grizz we saw.
Oh yeah. No, like down in the bottom, you could see that Grizz's tracks just twice the size, twice as wide. His front pad. Big claws.
Well, that was close, folks. Ryan got on that bear.
Still see.
Got the crosshairs on him and just didn't feel it.
That's funny. That elk is just not having that bear around her calf. Now that elk is working her way back. We made it back to camp. It's It's pretty near dark, but that was a grind. Like 2.5 hours ago?
Yeah.
We bailed off this hill and chased that bear
all the way to the other side of the valley.
And saw Grizz and stomped our way back up. But that was fun. That was a fun evening.
Yep. So we went, it was 1.8 over there, so almost 4 miles.
Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah, we ended up way down there.
Yeah. Just not quite what you're looking for. No. He sure had the right color.
We're so many miles.
But not that big.
He was pretty, but just didn't have the size. I was fooled from here. I know we were kind of in a hurry, but when we spotted him and he was sitting there looking straight on at us, he looked like a little bit more mature bear.
Well, when you got a close up, you could see he had a small body with a great coat.
Yep.
I feel
look, when mama elk chasing him up a tree, it's probably not big enough.
I feel like that bear spent most of his life running so far.
I wouldn't want to live in this valley.
There's a moving.
That thing.
That Grizz was gigantic.
He was rubbing when he was using that scratching tree and just like rubbing on his back, and his neck is just, he's like flexing, throwing his shoulder back. You could just see he's just enormous.
I barely got him, I think, on camera as he was scratching his back on the tree. And then he turned and walked away, and I was like, oh, darn it. Then he turned and walked back, and I'm like, whoa, that's a wide boy.
He's giant. Giant. It's like you're just bebopping along, and you're like, oh, wow, yeah, that's a giant bear.
You could see the hump.
Just
like
with your naked eye, yeah, you can see that hump.
The 10 millimeter on my hip just doesn't seem like much of, it's like a...
Let's just stay away from it.
Plan. Good plan. Thanks for watching part 1 of this 4-part bear hunt. Tune in next Sunday to watch Ryan and I get up close and personal with a big mountain brewing. We really appreciate the legit feedback and support we've been getting from this hunting and wild game community, and we told you we'd pick a winner from the comment section of last week's video, and that winner is Sloan Keithley. Sloan wrote a funny comment in regards to our Dumb and Dumber reference, and he said, "So you mean to tell me you've had extra food this whole time?" James says, "Yeah, we're in the Rockies." Thanks, Sloan. We love that comment. Now, if you'd like to be entered to win a Stealthy Hunter gun cover, all you got to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, and leave us a comment, and we'll pick a winner next week. Thanks for watching, and stay gritty.